Yo, what the fuck is going on? Today is December 27th. We're going to be going over penny stocks, pre-market, and open market. Today was a nice little day. I traded the first hour of the day and then just peaced out and watched Squid Games. Was a blessing. So we're going to start off with AILE. AILE, to me, this one, in pre-market, I really didn't like it that much. It did fall off a cliff, and it didn't really have any previous runs in the past 30 days, but we do have this gap fill level from 40 all the way to 90 cents. Whenever we see big gap levels like this, they don't, in this market, they don't tend to get all the way or fill gaps that much. So to me, this one was not really an A+ setup. However, there was enough volume. It wasn't really fading off. This push right here and holding VWAP definitely caught my attention. To me, I was going to try to play it kind of as a dip down to the inch of 200 around 25 cents. This was also a base right here. Maybe play like a U-shaped pattern where it comes back to 36, or if we're getting lucky, get to 40. Did not expect this move, but this was a crazy good move. We also talked about how things that hold over VWAP tend to hold over VWAP. Things that are below VWAP tend to stay below VWAP. That's Newton's fourth law, obviously. So this thing holding over, this candle right here was super nice, but then it got rejected like 3 or 4 times right here off of 35. I was really wanting this to come down a little bit further. It kind of dips again and then rips. This is a very weird open sequence. I really haven't seen something like this in a little bit that just kind of like stays flat. Like there's no movement other than this wick. You know, there's no permanent up or down move. But this thing, once it started to go, it started to go. I really wanted to get maybe a dip on one of these candles, one of these 2 candles right here, back down to like 36, 35. But she took the fuck off. She even halted here, which for penny stocks is pretty rare. You don't really see a whole lot of times where a penny stock halts like this, but it halts, it pushes out. We still, at this point, we get to 79. In my head, you know, we still got 10 cents away from the gap fill level. I already didn't expect this to push out like this, so my next thought is I want to dip to either pre-market highs here at 45, dip to VWAP, you name it. These have been pretty strong bullish dip levels. So we get this first push down here. I didn't add any on this one. We get this little push here. And then for me, this was a double bottom mini flag here. I didn't get as much as I wanted right here, just because I wanted it to come down a little bit further. And plus this thing was moving, like the percent moves on this were actually pretty fucking insane. But this nice double bottom flag here, it pushes out to 75. So at this point, we have kind of like a cup and handle. Again, I wanted this to come down to like this zone right here for like a inside 5 flag. I talked about this yesterday, how things, they push out and then dip back down to this previous resistance spots at 60. We didn't get there, but it did have a nice little dip here to 65 and then push back up, holding the 190 MA. And then this beautiful cup and handle. So like this move right here, if you miss down here, these will be the next ads. And then from there, we push to the gap level, and then it dies out. We do have another dip after this, back to VWAP and 60 cents. So this right here could have been good ads, but, you know, having it go kind of straight back to 85 from here, stuff like that doesn't usually always happen. Sometimes you'll get a bounce, sometimes you won't get anything. It'll just kind of drain off. So this is not high risk, but the chances of it going up like this, I feel like, are minimal. But overall, this ads down here are big brain, ads here are silky smooth, and these are also silky smooth as well. This was really nice price action overall. The volume was there. We're in the millions, 5-10 million shares per minute. And then after we get here, it just fades off. And we've seen this a lot as well. Once they make the move, especially if it's an early push upwards, they tend to kind of fail off the rest of the day, which this is doing. So it's trying to rotate here. Who knows? In after hours, maybe this pushes over to 1 or something. Hashtag not financial advice. But We'll see what it does. We'll see if it holds up. Moving over to AIRE. This was a day 2 move. It didn't do anything. It did hold yearly highs at 245. So this one will also remain on watch for next week, just in case it does have a secondary push. AMBO, I got Rari in my AMBO. This one was a low volume. It was a previous runner, 342s, 226. I just go straight up. I was just halted. No, I mean the spread on this was wild. Yeah, I have nothing really to say for this type of stock other than things that have gone straight off out of the open tend to come all the way back down. So again, don't bag yourself early on. If the setup does hold a key level, that's when you want to get in, but don't try and be a hero and catch one of these knives. But all right, moving to AMPG, also a day 2 mover. What I noticed today, there was a ton of recycled day 2, day 3 names. I kind of hate days like today where pre-market there's just so much shit going on. There's really not a clear-cut winner or 2 really good pre-market structures that I like. We had a lot of this, just a lot of things that are low volume. They kind of grinded up yesterday. And yeah, so I stayed away from all these, but again, you can make a bag. The biggest key thing that I noticed was just recycled names is they dip and pivot off of previous day highs. That's obvious, but sometimes you want to make sure you're marking those levels. So 544 was yesterday's highs on Thursday. We also have a high here at 430. So pretty much got all the way back down to 430, close enough. It does a huge U-shaped pattern, my God. I mean, this move right here is 430 to 6 is pretty fucking good. And then it's just low volume chop. So this is why I tend to stay away from stuff like that. They're just inconsistent. BKYI, no volume, ski slope. We're going to skip over that. Kraken, if you know Kraken, there are certain stocks, again, that are pieces of shit. Kraken is definitely one of these that are pieces of shit. Yeah. Low volume, choppy, don't love it. CTM, it's another one that's a day 2 move. You know, just look at this pre-market. Like, what am I looking at here, you know? So, again, this dipped all the way back down and then pushed all up. So maybe this is a trend. But for me, I'm just going to stay away from now. EVAX. EVAX. This one was ski sloping into open. Most of the times these don't work. However, I believe on Monday or Tuesday, we had a stock. I think it was maybe Pike. Let's go to Pike real quick. There was another ticker that resembles this type of price action. Yeah, so I think maybe there was another one too, but Pike straight up and then kind of just straight down, way under the VWAP, and it does push, but on EVAX the volume was just not there, and it was just kind of fading off a cliff. Most of the times these don't do anything, but yeah, so it fades off a cliff, volume dies out, so I stayed away from it. IDAI is another previous runner. I don't like this pre-market structure here. It's under its 85-cent highs that were set in the last 30 days. It is over the daily 200. It does hold under this. And again, VWAP, if it's under VWAP, it tends to stay under VWAP. If IDAI were to break through and put like a dip or a flag over 85 over VWAP, it would have been pretty good, but we never get there. So this thing just faded off as well. INTZ. Moving over to that. This one is, let's see. Yeah, this one came from 50 cents. It went all the way up to $3 fucking dollars. It's pretty fucking crazy. That move is bananas. Let's take a look. So no volume here. Don't love it. Is there anything that I would take in pre-markets? It does push up to the daily 200, and we know too that daily 200 rejects are pretty common in this market. I do like that it's fading into open. This play on any other type of stock that didn't come from under $1 would have been pretty good. I probably would have been heavy out of the open, but here's the problem with stocks that come from under $1. They insta-halt basically. Good luck managing risk. For me, I like to put stop losses. It's been the way that I can just kind of reset. Some people don't, but for me, I just, as a stop loss trader myself, I cannot, you know, this halting price action just doesn't really work for me, and I find it difficult to find good risk points when we don't understand where it can halt and all that stuff. But you can get bagged or you can make a lot of money. That's why I kind of tend to stay away from these. Although the setup was there, but again, insta halt down, halt down. It does recover here, but it stays under VWAP. So we have a VWAP reject there. And then it does. So, okay, here we go. We reclaim. Does it ever settle down is the question. So here's a nice flag right here. I would consider this. It's not halting here. At least I don't think. No. So if you want to take a dip here out of 180s, I mean, this is a good flag. Crazy good flag. It's not halting all over the place. So you have a good setup there. After this, it gets real choppy. It holds VWAP, but it's a lot choppier. So to me, this is like the only good setup right here. Trying to time this bottoming out, I feel like is difficult. Although, like we have seen the past couple of stocks, is that they tend to rebound actually pretty nicely lately. Although it's more or less backside, like this move is still pretty nice. So that's about the only couple things I can point out there. Moving over to KITT. KITT was a low grinder on Thursday. Again, another one where pre-market I don't love. The volume's low. Let's take a closer look at the open. We push up classic up-down move on a day 2 move. Again, look at this rebound. I mean, that's nice. Also, pivot off of 180. So there you go. There's your nice pivot off of this point right here at 180. I mean, we go from 188 to 245. Not a bad trade. Unfortunately, it does fade and then fail to rotate. So this will be, I'll kind of look closer into this after I'm done with this video to see if this is just usually backside or what the deal is there. But let's see. Yeah, it's not really doing anything right now. Moving over to LIDR. Let's see. LIDR, previous runner here, its highs are 165. And pre-market again. All these pre-markets that are recycled just look like absolute garbage. We do have the daily 200 at 225. That key level is 165. So, okay dip right here, but the volume is pretty ass. So we got 165 to 195. I mean, not terrible, but, you know. And then we do push over view up and then reject instantly. So we've also seen a lot of that. So just be careful. With insta pushes over view up, I would wait for a higher push, maybe to 210s, and then a dip back down to view up first. But yeah, this thing got slaughtered. It is working its way back now. So we'll see what that does later. LITM, another one. So it ran back here on December 18th, got to 1. It ran on December 24th, so on Tuesday, Thursday, it kind of grinded up. So we're grinding upwards. This thing also pulls a very similar move as AILE. So we'll put this in the bag of moves where it's kind of like it's flat out of the gates. It does break VWAP, but it holds the intra 200 and then goes straight upwards. So this is a crazy nice move. Comes all the way back down. It does bounce off VWAP here, but then it doesn't really come back. It comes back. I actually tried it right here. We saw SES do this a couple times. Push over, double bottom flag over VWAP, and then push again. Fortunately, it's just a little bit too high, and it just kind of broke down a little bit under VWAP and then pushed, which is kind of fucking annoying. Let's see. Yeah, so I kind of wanted this move over here. But nonetheless, it does push back, lower volume here, but it is holding over VWAP, holding over the yearly highs at 150. It's still holding up, so this one could also be a after hours mover. Moving to MYSZ. MYSZ, this one, previous runner on December 20th, highs were $8 basically. I was treating this one like PDYN. PDYN had a similar setup, I think, yesterday. It was fading into open. I took some down here, but we just never got a full rotation out of it. Key level 794. It just got VWAP rejected, and then after this halt down, I basically took it off because usually when it halts down, it just stays underneath. But yeah, this thing just died out. Moving over to OMEX, OMEX. This was another recycled name. Low volume. I didn't like this. This volume's ass cheeks, and it remained to be ass cheeks. OPTT. OPTT, another recycled name. Pre-market is wild. Yesterday's highs were 47. You know, you have a classic up down. It does hold it right here. So this is a nice move from 46 to 54. Something I need to get better at, but this is just the action here is just a lot slower. I'm more used to quicker price action, so but the profit gain and all it's there, so it's still nice to see a consistent pattern working, even if I don't trade it. Moving over to PDYN, this is the one that moved yesterday. So MYSC, so I thought this was kind of similar move, but we didn't get that there. So this is a day 2 move. Its highs yesterday were 887. Oh, dude, sheesh! Look at this thing. Damn. Like I said, the extreme dips into extreme recoveries are crazy in this market right now. So on like day 2 plus recycled name moves, I mean, this move out of the gates is pretty nice. I didn't catch any of it. It's hard. I feel like it's super hard to predict recycled multi-day names straight out of the gates like this. Like, it's super hard, but straight up, straight down, but then it just recovers. And I'm trying to find, like, it holds VWAP here, so there's your VWAP holds. It doesn't hold here, but it holds this 887 recovers, and then goddamn goes straight up, shoosh, and then straight back down. Wild, just wild price action, but you know, yeah. So overall, crazy moves. It halted a couple times. Yeah, just look at your key levels and VWAP holds, whether it's under or over, and then go from there. Pike, we already looked at. QSI was also a recycled name. 260s were its pivotal levels. Does a U pattern here, but then fails. Gets down to kind of like this gap fill level. And again, another crazy recovery. And that's a huge theme right now. So all the way back up. So not a bad idea. Maybe next week we'll look at that. But I mean, that's pretty good return there. It does hold VWAP. You got 1, 2 holding there. Still comes back down, holds key level at 340, gap fill level. You kind of have like this uptrend going on for you down here, like that. Pushes to 390 and then kind of dies off. RVSN. Let me skip this shit. What the fuck's that? An ad? Thanks, YouTube. RVSN, another one. I don't love this. Gets smoked under VWAP. We have the 200 here at 120. It does, again, it holds its pivotal level here at 85 cents. And recovers. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Held this level. So that's pretty much it for that. SES, another one that ran yesterday, day 2 move. Shh. I mean, how many times? God damn. I bagged myself today. I should have just been playing this. Yep, another hold of 190s. Holds under VWAP, holds under VWAP, comes all the way back down to this level, and then pushes back out. So a lot of money to be made off of daily pivotal levels. The volume is still kind of ass, but again, it's kind of more of a long-term trade. SLDP, this thing kind of grinded up yesterday into like 2s. It's over its yearly highs at 235. I hated this. This pre-market structure is kind of ass to me. Volume's low. It just faded off a cliff, and once you know, it came all the way back down to $2. And it didn't fully recover, but this move is pretty nice still. You know, 190 to 230. And then faded off the rest of the day. SRFM, another one that ran yesterday. Its highs were around 580. Low volume pre-market. It comes down. This one where, you know, it didn't really hold. We didn't get a huge recovery, but the volume is ass here, so skipping over that. STI. Whoa, what a little bitch. Look at this thing. Initially, when I pulled up STI, I really liked it. But then the volume just died off. And so I'm not trading any of this right here. But jeez, it just... Look at this. Grind upwards on low volume. So let's see if we can find a good flag. So this right here, I guess, is an okay flag. You know, we're over, I think we're starting off into a gap level. I think there's a huge gap level from 68 to like $1.93. So this is a nice little flag here. Daily 200 reject. So there you go. Nice push. The volume finally kicks up here and then kind of dies out. Finally, we have WIMI, WIMI. This thing was over yearly highs. Yearly highs 187. This one, I liked it, but I didn't expect it to. Wasn't expecting this push out of the gates. But again, we have another one that just kind of holds view up, opens at view up, that pushes straight up. So very similar pattern of straight up, straight down, and then dies off under the 1 year. Comes back over the 1 year, and then I think it's just been kind of grindy. So today, overall, it was a little bit all over the place, and that's to be expected. It's still the holidays. Going into next week, I would assume similar market as this week. We do have a lot of crazy good moves, so hopefully that continues. But again, the volume for next week should be similar, kind of a little bit lower, so kind of adjust expectations, but you never know. And hopefully we end off the year with a fucking bang. Peace.